I'm CJ Peterson, and this is The Journey is Real. We talk to real people with real passions who share a real portion of their heart. Today, my guest is Kathy Golliher, who is with Operation Battle Buddies. She's actually one of the founders of it. Thank you for coming on today, Kathy.
Thank you, CJ.
What an amazing thing you are doing for our military members. I just want to thank you for that. Can you explain to listeners exactly what Operation Battle Buddies is?
I will be glad to talk about Operation Battle Buddies. Operation Battle Buddies is an organization that we started in 2015. We offer well-bred Labrador retrievers to veterans with seen and unseen injuries. We offer the training as well, and pay for all that. So it does not cost anything for the veteran to have a well-trained service dog or emotional support dog.
That's amazing. Do you kind of hook them up with trainers so that they can be certified?
We do. We have 2 trainers as of right now, and they're both on the same page. They train the same way. We communicate all the time. And the cool thing is, because so many of these veterans don't get out, their anxiety is so high that they just don't get out of the house. And one of the cool pieces about this is that they do the training with the trainer. So they have their puppy at 8 weeks. Training starts immediately. And by about 16 weeks after the puppy's had all their shots, they start going into dog-friendly places such as Home Depot or Lowe's, and they have to get out. One story, we have a veteran that had not been out into a public place for years. And he got his puppy, and they have to be in treatment for their PTSD, some kind of treatment. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be the VA, doesn't have to be anything special. They just have to be in treatment for their PTSD. Okay. So he was not in treatment, and he had to be in treatment to be considered for a puppy. And so he got in treatment. Mm-hmm. He received his puppy. They were at the point where they needed to start socializing and getting the puppy out. Mm-hmm. And they went to Home Depot, and it took him 45 minutes to get out of the car, but he did.
Oh,
but he did. Yeah. So that's just one of the things, just you think, oh, it can't be like that. It can't be that bad, but it is
debilitating for some of them. Oh, my husband has a service dog. It wasn't through your operation. It was actually through TADSAW, which is Train a Dog, Save a Warrior here in Texas.
Yes.
And we did the same idea. We actually got Delilah at 8 weeks, and we literally trained her. We trained her with verbal as well as hand signals and how to train her. And she goes out with who I call my husband Super Hubby. She goes out with Super Hubby all the time. And before that, he had super high anxiety. I was kind of his PTSD dog.
Right.
But now he can go out without me because he has Delilah as his backup. They call them battle buddies as well.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. There are a lot of organizations. One of the differences in our organization, first of all, there's no charge. Second of all, they're all our puppies. We have 4 Labrador retrievers. We have 2 black and 2 yellow.
What are their names?
Excuse me? Oh, Rupp is our oldest, and he is our male. So we have Rupp, and then we have Callie, and then we have Ellie, and then we have Laz. Okay. So Rupp we got he was born December 26th, 2014. And we got him because when our son was deployed to Iraq, we got to keep his dog for him, and he had a black lab. His name was Smokey, and that, for some odd reason, that made us feel closer to our son. Mm-hmm. We have 2 sons that are veterans of the Army, and our first son had just gotten back from Afghanistan, so we were doing this all over again. And boy, oh boy, the emotions that I felt as a mom were all over the place. But Smokey was kind of like my emotional support dog, if you will. And when he passed away, our world just turned upside down. We were all a wreck. And so my husband said, we'll just get another one. We'll just get another black lab. And so I said, okay. We had never had labs. And so we went to a breeder, very, very good breeder in Naples, Florida. We were living in Florida at the time. And we picked out our puppy and got him in February of 2015. And I took that little fella everywhere with me. I thought he would just be our puppy. You know, he was my new emotional support dog. As it turned out, I took him to church with me one time, and my pastor just kind of looked at me and said, "What's up with a dog at church?" And out of my mouth came, "We're going to breed him and donate puppies to veterans with PTSD."
Nice.
And he looked at me and said, "Cool." And so I walked to the car and went, "Okay, Lord, what is this?" And so I made an appointment with the campus pastor there, and he was thrilled, and they were on board, and off it went.
Well, that's how it started, your journey. Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey? Because I know it started in 2015. And like I said, that was your kind of off point. What has it looked like throughout the years? Because it's now, 2020.
Right. Okay, so this was 2015, and I had a meeting with the pastor there on board. We'll kick it off in November at church for Veterans Day. Great. Okay, now we need a girl dog. So went back to our breeder. I really wanted a yellow. Yellow wasn't happening that time, so we got another black. So we had a male and a female, and we were ready. We were ready. We just had to wait until they were of age, and then we were going to start doing our thing. And so we kicked off in November of 2015, on between Sunday to Sunday. Then Tuesday was Veterans Day. So between during that week, $8,000 was donated to Operation Battle Buddies.
Wow.
We had not had a single puppy. It was all in the vision. So I knew this was something that was needed, something that people were behind, and I was so excited. So
that's awesome.
Yes. So this is 2015. Okay, on Tuesday, on Veterans Day, my husband called me. We are living in Florida. We've got 3 grown children living in Florida. My husband called me and said, "We're moving." And I said,
"We're moving," not even talking about just who.
Yeah, we're moving. And I'm, we're of the age where I thought we were going to start settling down, talk about retirement. We have grandkids, and up we took our roots, and we landed right here in close to San Antonio, Texas, Military City, USA. So it was exactly where we needed to be. And I didn't have any idea what would happen with Operation Battle Buddies, if it would hit off, I just didn't have any idea. And joined a church. They were behind us. So we had our first litter in 2017, January 29th, 2017. And we had 6 puppies. And I had no idea what I was doing. But our son got one. My mother-in-law got one because she's my mother-in-law, and and we have veterans that have those dogs. They're 3 years old now. They're best buddies. We still hear stories. We still are in contact with all of them. And I thought, man, this is fun. I need another female dog so that we can have 2 litters at a time, or we can have alternate or whatever. So we started looking in Texas and ended up finding Ellie She is our first yellow. So we have 2 females and 1 male. And so we've had, gosh, I think we've had 6 litters since then.
Wow.
We've had, it's about 50 puppies. Let's see, the last litter, both moms had puppies. About within 24 hours, we had 15 puppies. And
that's one just this last year, because I think that's one I was tracking with you guys, is
yeah,
the 3 of them were pregnant, or 2 of them were pregnant.
Just two were pregnant.
2 were
Yeah,
pregnant.
2.
And I was tracking with them. You guys ended up losing a couple of them, but they were so cute.
They are just the
that's
cutest.
Kind of how I stumbled upon you guys.
Good. They are so cute, and they're so smart. These are very well bred. You know, we went to a good breeder. They're very well bred puppies, and that was important to me. It was important to me to give our very best, because those veterans have given us their very best, and it's the least we can do to thank them for their service. I just can't believe all that they have given, not just the veterans, but the families, the sacrifices the families make, the sacrifices and the changes that the veterans go through. I mean, when they come home, they are nothing as they were before they left. So all of those,
what they've heard, what they've gone through is just something that you just cannot put a title to. And it makes me very upset when someone goes, well, just get over it. And I'm like going, okay, when you see what they've gone through, then you just get over it, and then you can come talk to me. Until then, get over it. I don't want to hear that.
Exactly. And I think too that it's so hard for military families to talk about it to I hate to say just a civilian, but it's hard to open up to those that don't understand, because the hurt is so deep. So I think that's one of the reasons why military families are so tight. We get each other.
Right.
We understand. We understand when there's some type of conflict, because there is a lot of times we get it, and we get why we keep staying and keep doing over and over, because we know that is not who our hero is.
Right.
That's not him. So or her. Exactly. So I'm passionate about this. I just love every single thing about it. And it started because of our 2 sons, because of our experience with the Army, with a black lab, and with PTSD.
Okay, now there are a couple questions I have to ask. First of all, if a veteran is in need of a service dog, how do they find you?
We have applications on our website, which is Operation Battle Buddies for Vets.com.
Okay, for those listening, it's OPERATIONBATTLEBUDDIES, the number 4, VETS.com. And she said there's an application on there. For those who'd like to help donate and caring for these dogs and helping you in that area, do they go to the same place?
They can go to the same place. We have a PayPal button there, or they can send a check either through, there's 2 churches that we accept donations from, and then whenever I need money, I just contact them so that it can be a tax deduction, because we are not a 501c3 on our own yet. We are working on it, but we're not there yet. It's very costly to do that, but we're working on it. So that is both of the churches are on the website. It's Church United Methodist Church and Grace United Methodist Church.
Okay. Now, as I mentioned before, I found you guys on Facebook, And for those interested, and saw the little puppies, you can find them, literally just type in Operation Battle Buddies and it's easy peasy. You can find them right away. And you can see pictures of the lovely little ladies and gentlemen. And are there any stories that have stood out to you over the years? And I know for
Oh,
collage, you got to keep it somewhat generic, and that's fine. But can you share some of those stories and what those dogs have meant to some of the military members that you've shared them with?
I can. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've heard, "She saved my life. This dog has kept me from falling off the deep end." You know, so many of them say that, but you know, we've got them all over the United States now, which I just find incredible. I love hearing from Georgia and from Illinois and from Washington State. But I think the one that stands out the most to me is a high ranking Army veteran that wrote an email about as long as my arm. And it was hard. It was hard for him to say, "I need help."
Mm-hmm.
And so many of them, that is the toughest part. It's getting to that place where you know that this is the new normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I need just something that's going to make a difference, something that I can love, that I've got to have a reason to get up in the morning. This particular veteran told me in this letter that he had tried to commit suicide. He lost everything. He lost his family, his wife, his marriage, his house. He lost everything. And what I love is when they come over here and see the puppies for the first time, and I let them come immediately. I've done Facebook Live when puppies have been born, so I encourage them to come over and see the puppies and start that bonding immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did. And I showed him a picture of himself as he was holding this. I think the puppies were maybe 3 days old.
Mm-hmm.
He was holding a 3-day-old puppy on his chest, and he looked at the picture and he said, "You know what stands out the most to me in this?" And I said, "What?" He said, "I'm smiling. I haven't smiled in years."
I mean, I can just imagine their face just lighting up.
Yes,
When we
yes.
got Delilah, it was kind of the same idea. I went and picked her up.
Uh-huh.
Trevor has a huge heart, and he would have wanted them all. And what happened was the puppies just kind of took turns getting into my lap, and then Delilah got in, and she refused to let anybody else come in. So there was this little, at the time she was 7 weeks old. And there's this little 7-week-old. She's her mom's a black mouth cur. Dad is a golden retriever and lab mix.
Okay.
And so I took them. They lived down the road from us, and the owner and I walked back, and I showed her to Trevor, and of course he instantly fell in love. And we have a Maine Coon Manx mix cat named Samson. So the test was, could Samson handle the dog? Because any other dogs that came in, Samson wanted nothing to do with them. And when he fell in love with her, we're like, okay, this one's ours.
Wow.
And so, you know, they still, yes, Delilah is both of our dogs, but she is his, you know, he is her human, is how we word it. And she looks after him. She's got his back. She will climb up on his lap. She is a 53-pound lap dog. But she puts that vest on, and she is a different dog.
Yeah.
That's how they're trained. And we've taken her to stores, like I've said before, and, you know, people bring in emotional support dogs that are not service dogs. And you know the difference, because an emotional support dog will bark. A service dog is not allowed to bark.
Exactly.
And it gives those of us who have service dogs a really, really bad name.
Exactly.
So I encourage and I implore those who do have emotional support dogs, please do not take them out in public if they bark, because it actually hurts the reputation of those who truly need it. From even the stories that Kathy has shared, you really have no idea what you're doing to those who really do need these dogs. And they are their battle buddies. They have their six.
Absolutely. And they're working. they are working. You wouldn't want to disrupt anybody else working on anything else. And it's a piece of equipment. You wouldn't want somebody to walk up to you with your child in a stroller and say, "Can I pet your child?"
Exactly.
you know that's something that is so very, 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 very important to us, that we don't add to that problem, because it is a problem, but that we help to fix it.
It is actually a blessing when you hear parents with kids and the kids are like, look at the dog, look at the dog. I'm like, well, the doggy's working, you can't pet him.
Right.
And when we
Right.
hear that, we're just like, thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
they're cute. Yes, they're adorable. And yes, normally you can go and just pet dogs, but actually you can't, because you don't know the temperament of the dog.
Right.
But
Right.
when the parent actually stands up and says, no, you cannot pet that dog, it actually is very helpful to the people who do own that dog. And
Absolutely.
that dog is serving a purpose. If you
Right.
see a service dog without their owner, then the owner is in trouble.
Right. Absolutely.
So you can go
Yeah.
to like that point and say, show me where your owner is. And they will take
Right.
you to their owner, who is more than likely in trouble, because
Right.
the dog and the owner are one. They are a team.
Yes.
And people
Yes.
don't fully understand that. And that's something I'm passionate about, in case you couldn't tell as well.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I
And
love it.
that's, I mean, those dogs do a service to those military people that humans cannot do.
Absolutely.
It's that
Absolutely.
additional love and acceptance, and it
Yeah.
gives them a purpose to get up in the morning.
Absolutely.
There's
Absolutely.
somebody else to care for. And
Yep.
when that veteran starts to go into the anxiety of PTSD, the dog, like Delilah, literally gets into Trevor's face and kind of licks him, like, hello,
Mhm.
you need to come out of this.
Yeah. 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 It's really cool how they just pick up on those things. We have a relationship with one of the elementary schools here,
Mhm.
and they do a fundraiser for us,
Oh,
and
awesome.
we have a Veterans Day parade, and we are the leaders of the parade with the dogs. Anybody that has a service dog can bring their dog. Um, it is amazing. But the coolest thing is that the kids are learning. This whole elementary school, they're learning. They also have a career day, and we get to go to that and talk about service dogs and talk about the difference between a service dog, an emotional support dog, and a therapy dog. And that's what our Laz, he's our last dog that was born. He's almost a year old. And when he was born, he's Rupp and Callie's puppy. He is a yellow. And when he was born, he was fine. But then maybe an hour later, I was in there just checking on him, making sure that they were all okay. And he was laying to the side and he wasn't breathing. And I picked him up, gave him mouth to snout, and turned him upside down. I did everything I could and got him breathing again. And that was the first time I had ever done that. And I was crying, and I just couldn't believe that this little tiny puppy had come back to life. And I
Is
couldn't
that why
quite
his
wait.
name Laz? Is he Lazarus?
He is.
Oh, that's so cool.
He is. He is. We had a few puppies that didn't make it for whatever reason. They, when they're born, they're stillborn, and the vet has assured me it's not anything that I've done, but I could not. I named them Faith, Hope, and Love. They're buried in our backyard. And so when I told the vet that our veterinarian, which is Dr. Rodriguez, that I had named them Faith, Hope, and Love, and he said, "Well, this is your Lazarus." So actually, it was our veterinarian that named him.
That is so
He,
sweet.
he
Well,
is.
I hate to cut this short, but we do have only a few more minutes. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Okay. I know with this coronavirus and all that's going on, people are so worried about the future. And I am too, as far as financially and things like that. I don't want this to go away. We need financial support for the training. Each training session with our trainers, and right now they're doing a whole lot of Zoom training. Anything we can to make sure that everybody stays healthy, but that puppies and the veterans don't fall backslide. So it's $45 a session. Every single penny counts. This is our only expense.
Mm-hmm.
Our only expense is the training. And if you can spare a dime, if you can spare a dollar, we will take it. If you want to do a fundraiser, we will take it. We will come to your house. We will come to your church. We will talk at your church. Not yet, when all of this coronavirus is over, but we will do anything. We love.
Is there a place? Is there a place on your website where they can email you?
The phone number on there is my phone number. Just call me. Just call me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
For those interested, again, you can find them on the website or on their web at operationbattlebuddiesforvets.com. That's OPERATIONBATTLEBUDDIES forvets.com. Kathy, I want to thank you so much for sharing your heart. Thank you so much for sharing your pups with our military members. Again, military members, if you are in need of a pup, get a hold of Kathy at the Operation BattleBuddiesForVets.com. And I want to thank you all for listening to The Journey is Real, where we talk to real people with real passions who share a real portion of their hearts. I'm CJ Peterson with CJPetersonWrites.com. Until next time.